welcome to this first episode in a new series of CEO Conversations. Over the next few weeks, we'll be bringing you short, bite-sized conversations with ANSP CEO, asking key questions about their plans for the year ahead. Our first guest is Captain Ted Pakii of New Sky Pacific, formerly Papua New Guinea Air Services in the Southwest Pacific. Welcome, Ted.
Thank you, Connor. Pleased to be here.
So, Ted, I'd like to start straight away by asking you, how has your organization approached the past 6 months, and how has that changed from what plans you had pre-pandemic?
Yes, it's been very challenging for us with 60 to 80% reduction in revenue. We've had a lot of projects afoot as part of our modernization program, which have basically been halted due to the pandemic. But despite this, we've managed to maintain full operations with strict COVID-19 protocols being enforced, including a week-on, week-off rotational roster for non-operational staff. Because of the huge reduction in revenue, we've had to introduce major cost-cutting measures to ensure that we sustain our operations and continue to deliver our services for an indefinite period.
And what do you think you've learned so far? What have been the successes? What have been the failures?
Yes, the pandemic has taught us that we cannot afford to be complacent. We have to be resilient and be prepared for major challenges like the current pandemic. We have to review our business models and make necessary changes to ensure that the industry is sustainable. Broadening our revenue base is one of our critical part of that consideration at the moment for New Sky Pacific. Despite the massive reduction in revenue, most ANSPs, including New Sky Pacific, have been able to provide full services to the aviation industry through the implementation of our respective contingency plans, which include, of course, the use of our contingency reserve funds. All in all, I'm confident we have done extremely well in terms of maintaining our level of service and providing that safety critical service to the industry.
You talk about maintaining a level of service. If we think about the aviation industry, its suppliers, stakeholders, how do we do that? How do we work together to build resilience?
The industry needs to collaborate a lot more than we've done in the past, especially after this pandemic. We need to share information, including operational data, share resources in terms of expertise and training facilities and such, share information on lessons learned, challenges faced, success stories, and so on and so forth. In terms of our partners with the industry suppliers, they need to develop more innovative and robust and cost-effective technologies that require minimum maintenance, so that when the next pandemic comes around, the ANSPs will be able to continue to provide their services with little or no maintenance, especially during the total lockdown periods where flights have been grounded.
And if we look a bit then to the future, what do you think are the biggest risks and the biggest opportunities for the industry in the coming years?
A lot of major airlines, have reduced their fleet size and laid off tens of thousands of workers because of the reduction in demand. And a few small airlines have shut down completely and may not start up again. Now, that's going to be a challenge for ANSPs in terms of revenue going forward. It'll take several years before we return back to the pre-pandemic statistics or numbers. But with the lessons learned, I'm very confident that the entire aviation industry will be back stronger, bigger, and better prepared to meet similar challenges such as this pandemic in the future.
Thanks. So the reality at the minute is pretty stark, but you're hopeful for the future. So to finish then, I want to play a 3-word game. And I'm going to ask you, what 3 words would you use to describe the ATM community today?
Well, this pandemic has proven that the ATM industry is committed, very resilient, and safe. I'll expand on that. I believe we are totally committed to the aviation industry in terms of providing a safe service and overall safety. And despite the enormous challenges that's been posed by the pandemic, the ATM industry has been resilient in continuing to deliver the safety critical services and continues to do so well into the future.
Great. Well, Ted, thank you for your time today, and we look forward to seeing you someday soon.
Thank you very much, Connor. Pleasure talking to you.